announcement is not the beginning, and it wasn't made abruptly. I need to back up from last week to help you understand how we got to that point. I'd like to start with something that I think needs to be heard here loud and clear. The reason for the elimination is based on the ongoing concerns for our budget and the reduced allocations that we get from the state. This is a budgetary and financial concern, number one. So if you don't hear anything else that I say here tonight, it's important that you hear that message. The university has had ongoing concerns about our financial stability and our budget. I hope you know that before that announcement went out, because we have put out countless communications. Student Senate has been front and center on these budgetary concerns. Last year, there was a forum held here. There have been articles in the paper. The president has written letters to the campus community, on and on. In just a few moments, Mr. Brzezinski, who is our finance VP, is going to give you a more global view of this picture. But I do want to initially take you through the process a little bit of how we got to last week when the announcement was reached. We've known for some time that we have a very large athletic program. We have 22 teams. This is a large program. Westchester has 26, but we are among the largest in the PSAP conference. But we've known for some time that we've struggled to support 22 teams. Back in 2006, there was a commission convened, the Blue Ribbon Commission by the President's Office, to look at how do we build towards a successful program. And there were numerous recommendations that came out of that Blue Ribbon Commission. Fast forward to about 2 years ago, we were faced with looming reductions in our budget. This now forced us, compelled us to think, how do we continue to provide a quality experience for our students with these reduced budgets, significantly reduced budgets. And this isn't something that's been just impacting on athletics. This is across this campus. We were challenged as a cabinet to look at how do we address these issues. But about 2 years ago, we brought in a consultant to help with athletics, to help us answer the question, how do we build and continue to provide a good experience for our student athletes while looking at these looming reductions? We brought in O&L consultants. They're known nationally. They made additional recommendations, including cost containment strategies and revenue generation. Among the cost containment strategies was the recommendation that we eliminate track and field for men, indoor and outdoor and cross country. Fortunately, we did not need to act at the time we received that report, because at the time we were facing a significant cut in our budget. Last year, you may recall, the governor announced a 52% cut. Well, we ended up with 18%. Not long ago, we heard we still need to take 5% and freeze it for this year's budget. And on February 7th, the governor announced that next year, we may need to take an additional hit of 20% to our operating budget. This is about a financial stability issue. How do we survive as a public higher education institution? With that being said, again, we did not act on those recommendations initially. We were able to continue to move forward. We did make cuts, and Mr. Brzezinski is going to talk about that. Because even with the 18% cut, we were still looking at significant impacts to the university. So last week, I, along with the athletic administration, went forward to make the announcement looking at these additional 20% cuts to the university. I, along with the athletic director and her administration, went to those individuals who are going to be impacted by the reduction to our athletic program. Because we are now at that point, we are compelled, given the significant cuts that we are facing, teams. We've known that for some time. We've made some headway, we've made some improvements, but it's not enough looking at these significant impacts that we're facing. So last week, I went forward and spoke to those individuals, including the team members for track and field, myself, along with the athletic administration, to convey the bad news. And there is no easy way to convey that message. It's not going to be received well whether I give it last week or next week. It's not good news. And as student affairs professionals, it is heartbreaking to have to convey that news because we are about providing opportunities to our students, not taking them away. But we are compelled, as administrators of this university, to make these kinds of choices, unfortunate choices, that no one wants to make. So I went forward with the athletic administration. I met with the coaches. I met with the teams, including the women's track and field and cross-country teams. You then received a press release giving you information about this decision. Our best attempt to let you know where we need to head, but hopefully you understand that these are very challenging times. It is not easy. With these eliminations, we are looking for savings that will help with the other cuts that have been made across the university. With the elimination of these 3 teams, we are realizing a savings of approximately $200,000, but that's only one piece of the total cost containment initiative that has been underway at this university as we look at year over year the reduction in our funding. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Brzezinski to provide additional information.
Trying to give you a context of where we've been and what we're trying to do. A little over a decade ago, this university received over 50% of this funding to the university from the state of Pennsylvania. About 10 years ago, as funding declined, we had what we call a crisscross. It was the first time in our history that students were paying more to go to school here than the state was providing. In this year's budget we have right now, students provide almost 70% of our income. Your tuition and fees provide 70% of our income. I came here in January of 2007. At that time, we received about $39.5 million from the state. Today, we receive $30 million. The governor is recommending that we lose another 20%, which means we'll lose another $6 million. So we could be sitting here next year with $24 million from the state. And depending upon what they do with the tuition increase, you could be providing students' tuition and fees 80% of our revenues. We are looking more like a private institution than we are a public institution. Yet we don't have private prices. Our tuition and fees are a little over $6,000. When you go down the road at F&M, you're looking at $50,000. You can go to school here 4 years for what it costs to go there once. We cannot keep losing money and expect that everything is going to stay the same. In the last 5 years, we've had to redirect $15.6 million. That means we've had to cover areas, cut people. I've sat here in the last 3 years, and every spring, early summer, I've had to sit with people and hand them a pink slip and tell them they no longer have a job anymore, not because of anything they did wrong, but because we just don't have the money to pay them. We've eliminated 36 positions up until this decision about athletics. 26 of those were administration staff, and 10 of those were part-time faculty members, the equivalent of 10 full-time. We're sitting here with another $6.1 million hit possibly coming in June. There's no way we can continue to do the things that we're doing. We have over 100 vacancies. We have over 60-some faculty and staff jobs that we have on this campus that we can't afford to keep. We're not filling them. We'd rather not fill jobs than to hire people and not to them. We have 60-some faculty positions right now today that we don't have filled. That means it's harder and harder for you to get the courses that you need to graduate. We have to make tough decisions about where the money goes. You're here to get an education. We believe it's more important to put it into your coursework so you can graduate in time, and some other things. We like doing that as hard decisions. If you can't get your courses, you end up having to go here another semester, another year. So every year you go here, it's going to cost you another $10,000, $12,000 between tuition and fees, room and board and stuff. So we're forced with this current environment to make these tough decisions until the economy comes back. And I don't think the state's ever going to give us the money that we had in the past. So when we look at these areas, and I will tell you, we've been looking at athletics for over 4 years. We've been looking at it since I've been here. The first year I was here, I was responsible for athletics. I was the one who started implementing the Blue Ribbon Commission, and then Dr. Breaux came, turned it over to her. So we've been looking at everything. Up until this point, we've made some small cuts in athletics, but nothing that was this dramatic. But we've made a lot of cuts across the board in a lot of other areas. We just can't keep doing that. It sounds like $200,000 is not a lot of money, but I've got to find $6 million. There's no place I can go find $6 million to make one decision. It's 200 here, 50 there, 80 there, find out, add it up. We try to keep the tuition down, try to keep the cost down. So just remember, in the last 5 years, we've got 36 positions. We've got 100 vacancies that we can't hire. We've moved $15.6 million around to make this thing work. And this is where we're at. So we've got a long ways to go before we balance next year's budget. I don't know where the next of the cuts are going to be. It's a tough situation. This was a decision that took us a long time to make. The decision was made. Recommendation through athletics from the vice president to the cabinet, which is the president and all the vice presidents. We tussled with it, and we made a decision. We made it now, so we're not recruiting kids. We're going to recruit a kid and we'd say we're not going to have a team. And we did it now, so you have time. If you want to transfer and go run somewhere else, you have the time to be able to do that. It's, as Vice President Breaux said, there's no great time to give bad news. I know you feel like it's come at you quickly and out of the blue. We've been doing it for 2 years, trying to figure out how to do this. And there was times last year we thought we may have to do it when we had 50% cut. I know it sounds crazy to think of 18% was a blessing. When you're looking at 50%, it is a blessing. So that's where we're at. We're still fighting. They want to take us back 5 more percent. This is another $1.5 million for this year. And we're looking at another $6 million for next year. That's $7.5 million. We've got to find that. So I know you feel this is out of the blue, but trust me, we've been working on this for years. And we're sorry. I played 2 sports in college. I coached in college. I ran athletics at 3 different institutions. There's nothing fun about this. So this was not done happily. I'll give it back over to Dr. Oh, let me do one more thing. On our website, you can click on the website. You can go up or down to where the alphabet is at the bottom. If you want to go over and click on B, see if I can do this. It'll bring up where it says budget. Go to budget. You see that little orange icon that says MU budget issues? You go there. And on here, on this page, you can find all, for the last several years, every budget presentation I've done on this campus about what the series of budget issues are. Last year we did one in the multipurpose room on March 7th, 6 o'clock, request of the Senate. I'll be there again, and I'll give you an overview of where we've been, where we are today, where we think we're going tomorrow. I'll be there to give you I'll start at the Apache state level, bring it down to the impact in Millersville, and I'll be there to answer questions. I'm going to be answering questions about overall strategy. I'm not going to be answering questions about individual particular budgets. The overall strategy, I will be there to answer questions. Thank you very much for the time, and I'll give it back to Dr.
Thank you very much. Finally, I want to emphasize Vice President for Student Affairs, Michelle Perez, will work with you, and Gordon Nesbitt, who oversees the intramural and club sports area. So we are here to support you in the best way we can during these unpleasant circumstances. And I, too, apologize for having to do this. We feel compelled that we need to look across the university, as you've heard from Mr. Brzezinski. This isn't just about athletics, this is institutional-wide. And just one personal note I will share about myself. I ran track and field, and some of you may not know that. And my father coached Olympic athletes in track and field. So this hits home for me. So students around here who are with the team, this is personal as well as professional, and these decisions are not taken lightly. So thank you for your attention. We're going to turn this back over to Student Senate.
Thank you, Dr. Breaux and Roger. What the Student Senate did with the questions that you put in our Dropbox